What if all history? It's an interesting guy for a lot of reasons. I watched him probably for a good 2 or 3 years now, right? I've known about him beforehand. I know he used to do a lot of what if history stuff, just like Mr. Z, like All History Hub, like a bunch of those people who cover all history stuff, right? Pretty interesting stuff. Over the period of time, after that, like I would say the last 3 to 2 years, he has been covering a lot more political stuff and more civilizational stuff, which I actually do enjoy. I enjoy a lot of his civilizational stuff, and I think whether you like the guy or not, I think there's a sense of I wouldn't really call it respect, but a sense of, hey, I don't really agree with you, and I may not respect you, but I'm like, hey, props to you, right? Right, and one of my buddies who has a very long history of politics in a very short period of time is a big fan of What If All History. I'm not a big fan of the guy, really. I kind of find him to be very annoying. I feel like he's very prideful, very, just kind of an ass compared to someone like Mr. Z, who's a lot more down to earth, who's just like your everyday guy. He just talks regularly. That there's a clear difference between the two, and maybe one day I'll get into the two, right? Maybe one day I'll do a comparison of the two, right? But today, I had before I move forward, I had a different video plan for today and everything, and I decided to still upload it. It's private right now, so I guess I'll upload it whenever. But he made a 3-part, I believe, biography, which is I think total around 6 hours. I didn't even watch it yet, and from what people have told me, it is insane, very schizo about him being a gift to God, him being him getting messages from the Norse god, him being this deep philosophic person. Even serious stuff like his mom was schizophrenic and he was never around his dad and he had an extreme childhood. And all I could think of is this explains so much about his personality, the way he acts. If you don't know, as I said, he's very arrogant. If you've never seen a lot of his stuff, especially on X, it is very arrogant. He is a guy who, a lot of people call him not really an incel, but kind of a virgin loser, which is like kind of does look like one, to be fair. And I'm not really downing on the guy. And before I go further, I sometimes think that he grifts the right. Because, like, the last 2 or 3 years, he's been very much moving towards the right. Whether it is you want to say that's a natural process for him or he's been grifting, I say it's more in the middle, where I think they're saying that he believed, that are genuinely right-wing, that he actually believes in. But I do think some of it is a bit of a grift. But what ended up happening is he ended up probably believing more in the grift, and it just went from there, right? And again, back to, people calling him a virgin loser. He went on about how he is this sophisticated guy who has traveled and lived all everywhere, basically, like Southeast Asia, Mexico, Europe. How he's a historical person by training. It's insane. He even goes, to some extreme. He even calls for a revolution right wing. Like, not a revolution right wing, I'm being hyperbolic, but you know what I'm implying, right? He's calling for a revolution, right? A rebellion in a civil war. As somebody who, works every day and does it as fun, I'm like, nah, dude, you don't understand the struggle, right? Mr. Z did a great video breaking it down why a civil war is stupid, right? And everything. Go watch Mr. Z. He's a lot better. He's a lot more ground to earth. He's a lot more, I would say, more genuine, mostly even better. Like, he's a better speaker. He's a better in sense of like actually trying to convince you on something, whether you agree with him or not. I think he looks at multiple perspectives. Even if his own biases do show, he does try to be as neutral as he can. With what if all history, he's very different. And there was a period of time where he goes into a full-on war, and I feel like now that I'm talking about and going into this stupid-ass rant, I feel like I'm just gonna be the videos is gonna be titled about ranting about what if history, and and unable to watch his biography, because that would have been interesting. Maybe I would have felt more sympathy, but like, nah, I'm just gonna delete it because I'm having my schizophrenic meltdown, which is probably happening. It explains a lot because from what I remember when it comes to genetics, right? Shout out to some of the people on my on Discord I'm on sometimes, because they talk about genetics a lot of the time. A lot of your genetic traits are inherited by your mom. So certain diseases you inherited from your mom. I do 100% believe now that what if all history is probably dealing with a schizophrenic rise in his mental state, and that in the next couple of years, don't be surprised if he goes full schizo, right? Don't be surprised that he goes a full low count. But it's funny because I know I'm talking about more political stuff in this video compared to my most stuff, but this is just the end result of things to come, right? He is going through a schizophrenic awakening where in the next years it's just only probably gonna get worse unless he gets medicated quickly, right? Because he's at that age, right? If what he said is true, what I want to believe, or at least what I've heard, right? I've only heard clips, I've seen other people talk about it. From what I can see, it sounds like a lot of what he's saying is true. Given that he had an extreme hard life with a mom who has schizophrenic. Sorry if I'm stuttering or breaking on my words. That's a lot I have to say. It's probably what's happening is because of his PTSD trauma and his mom having schizophrenic and him being around her. Now him being at the age where it's showing all the mannerism, idiosyncrasy that his mom probably shown to him when he was young is probably showing up, and then we're gonna see the result of it. And all honestly, as much as I don't really like this man sometimes, I do feel bad for him if all of this is true. And I think when I may have to do a follow-up video when he either releases the biography or he makes a sort of like apology why he private everything, because I feel like moments like these, even if you don't like somebody, the best thing you can do is show sympathy, right? To me, seeing this man going from just making random all history stuff and talking about civilization and just very obscure stuff, not esoteric, but very obscure stuff. And me, I'm not somebody that agrees with his political takes. Even we're both right wingers. I still don't agree with him in a lot of regards, but I can at least try to respect him a bit. But right now, I feel bad for him. He's probably going through something. He's in his 30s, I believe. No wife, no kids. He does have a career. But I think that there's something missing in his life that is very clear. And I think that's something, if you're going to take away anything from this video, it is when people like this go through it, especially during the holiday season. This man is successful. Let's not deny that. He probably has money. He has connections. But that doesn't mean anything if you're spending the holidays by yourself. Whether if you're spending the holiday by yourself, you can be rich all you want, but why not spend the holiday with friends who are there and you can make great bonds and memories, or someone you love, or your family? And I think that's what he's realizing, that he probably doesn't have friends that are that close to him. And, there's no one that he has romantic interest in that could be there at times like these. And his family is probably so scattered that you feel bad for him. And I know I went on this whole rant and me calling him out and me saying some stuff, but in the end, I feel bad for him. I hope he does well. I hope he releases those videos and he makes an apology or something to explain his erratic behavior. Because a guy like that, he does deserve criticism on his political stuff and some of his mannerism, the way he acts. But if this is showing up, his schizophrenic, his schizo side is finally showing, then there's a real concern and real worry. Because a lot of those people, end game, you know what I mean? And due to depression, and a bunch of other stuff. So again, I know this video took a very different turn from being me being bombastic, being, God, I'm so stupid with words. Sorry. I know this took a very different turn from, me being loud and ranting to somber and being understanding. Sometimes all you can do is pray for those and show sympathy. Till then, y'all, be safe, God bless, and if you're going through something hard, talk to your friend or a family or a random stranger. They'll help you out during these hard times. Till then, goodbye, all.